Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another reading vlog where I'm gonna be reading some anticipated books. So this year I'm doing these videos to just keep on top of my anticipated books as they come out, because in other years, for some weird reason that I don't really know how to explain, I just procrastinate the books that I'm excited about. And this year I'm trying and actually succeeding to not do that. And these are actually my last 4 anticipated books. So all the others I've read, and I mean, at this point I've read also these ones because I'm filming this intro after I finished the video, after I finished all the books. So I have finished all of my anticipated books. And so for these last 4 books, we have actually 3 fantasies and 1 horror. And 3 of them are like parts of series actually, and one of them is a standalone, but is my most anticipated release of the year. So obviously the one that I'm the most excited about. I'm obviously excited for all of the books, but there is, this one that I was the most excited for. And this is spoiler free. I just talk about the synopsis, either of like the book or of the series, I guess, if it's, a book in a series, and give like my thoughts on the books, but I don't go into like any specific spoilers. And having said that, let's just get into the video. Okay, so I am halfway through, I think actually 51%, yeah, to be exact, 51% into Once a Villain, which is the 3rd and last book in the Monsters series, which is fantasy. And so in the series, we are following Joan, and in the beginning of the first book, she was either 16 or 17, and she is at her summer job, which I might be wrong because I read the first book a few years ago, but I think it was like at a museum, and it was like she was loving it. She loved the job, and she also had like a boy working with her that she had a crush on. But then like something happens. She kind of like loses some time, and then she learns that like one side of her family is like they're monsters, and so like she's half monster, half human. And that boy that she had a crush on is actually a monster hunter, like a very, famous monster hunter. And so she sort of has to like protect her family from him. And the way that like the magic of these monsters work is that like they can time travel basically. And in order to time travel, they take like time from humans. So imagine you want to travel 10 years, either to like the future or the past. If you want to travel 10 years, you take 10 years of life from humans. And, you can obviously understand why humans don't enjoy that. Like, the humans that know that monsters are real, they obviously, don't like that. So, yeah, she has to, fight these hunters. And the story then gets like way much bigger than that. And the second book was like absolutely insane. And the way that it ended, it left like not only our characters in a lot of trouble and in a lot of danger, also like the world itself and like basically everyone was also in a lot of trouble and in a lot of danger. So the way that this book starts, it's kind of chaotic. Our characters are really struggling, the whole world, or at least like half of the world, basically. So like half, I mean like either the monsters or the humans, really struggling. And like at the maybe 20% mark, maybe 30, I'm not entirely sure, there was like a plot twist, a reveal that I didn't really expect, but it definitely makes the story more interesting and also like a bit easier for them. And yeah, now they have a plan, they have like a solid plan. They just don't think they have the time to do it. But, I'm assuming everything will turn out okay in the end. Maybe not like 100% okay, but okay enough. But yeah, things are complicated, but I am definitely very invested in what's happening. I am really enjoying it. And yeah, I'm having a good time for sure. And yeah, I'm definitely excited to see how this turns out. And there is like a romance at the center of the story. And like, I don't particularly care about it, but I also don't particularly hate it. So it's fine. It's okay. It's there. I don't really care about it, but it's fine. But other than that, like the fantasy action plot, I am definitely very excited about. And so yeah, I am gonna finish it and I will be back. Okay, so I have finished Once a Villain and I really liked it. And we had a lot of action, we had a lot of crazy things happening, we had a lot of magic as well, and the characters learning more about their magic and like what they could really do like with their whole potential of their magic. And actually, I ended up not hating the romance. I actually started liking it, and I saw reviews of people like really not liking it. And like, realistically, do I think those characters would work? Actually, like, if it was in real life, do I think they would? No. Did I actually surprisingly have fun? Yes, and that is all that matters to me. And same things like with the plot, there were some things that were definitely like very convenient, but again, did I have fun? Yes, I had a lot of fun, and I was definitely like very invested. I still really like most of the characters, and I definitely like to follow their journey. And the ending, I'm not sure I loved everything about the ending, but mostly I did have a lot of fun with the book. Like, I was always invested. I was always, enjoying my time. I was always having fun, which, like I said, is really all that matters to me. And I do rate books based on just like my enjoyment and not if they're like a literary masterpiece. Also, because I don't think I could really evaluate that. But, for my enjoyment, I did really enjoy it. I had a lot of fun. And I'm still not entirely sure what I'm gonna rate it, but I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. So yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. And I finished a series, which is great because I think I was like in the middle of 43 series, which is crazy. And now I'm down to 42. So yay, progress. So yeah, that's it. That is the first book of this video done, and I am now going into Katabasis, which is like my most anticipated book of this year. I am very excited. I am also kind of scared because like my expectations are so high that I'm afraid like they're too high and I'm not gonna love it. But like, I've loved everything from this author, so I don't expect this to be any different. And like, the synopsis of the book sounds so cool. So I think I'm gonna love it. And yeah, I'm very excited and I'm gonna go into this one and I will be back when I've read half of it. Okay, so I am just over 50% of katabasis. I still don't know if that's how you say the title of this book, but let's pretend that it is. And we're following Alice, and she is a grad student, and her supervisor dies because of like a magical accident, because what they study is magic. And like, the accident kind of might have been Alice's fault, and all she wants is to be like the brightest mind in the field of magic. And so she really needs that supervisor because also he's like kind of famous, or like super famous. And she needs him, and now he's dead. And so she decides that she's gonna go into hell to get him back, to get a recommendation letter from him, because that would like open a lot of doors for her. And so she starts the spell to get into hell. And Peter, who had like the same supervisor as her, he finds her, and he wants the same thing, so they end up going to hell together. And we are seeing them kind of like explore hell, like the courts of hell, because they don't really know where their professor is, so they have to go through like every court. So we are seeing them as they basically explore hell and the things that the people who have actually died have to go through, like challenges, the places. And like this is my most anticipated book of the year, and so I expected it to immediately be like 5 stars, and sadly it's not. And like I am liking it, I'm definitely liking it, I'm definitely having a good time, and all of the things that they think about like being a grad student and research and all of that, like being a PhD student myself, it's very relatable, not in a good way, but yeah, it's definitely very relatable. So, you know, I'm enjoying that, and I am also enjoying like the plot, like the setting, like the exploring of hell basically is very fun. We are seeing a lot of fun challenges and places that they have to go through, but I'm not loving like the interactions, I guess, between Alice and Peter, because I guess this is supposed to be a romance as well, other than like fantasy and dark academia. I guess it's also a romance from like sort of rivals to lovers, although like yes, they are rivals and at times they, you know, argue and bicker a lot. Mostly like they are working together from the beginning, so they're not really like enemying that hard, and either way I'm not really vibing with that. And like I almost never like romance, so I might definitely be the problem here and not the book, but I'm not loving that part. The rest, like I am enjoying, but I don't think I am also loving like enough to ignore the romance part. But I am, like I said, having fun. I am enjoying it, and I am curious to see like how the rest of this goes. And also there's a cat, which is like here in the cover, and the cat is definitely like in the book. So I love that. And we have like very recently, in the last like 2 or 3 chapters that I read, met a new character who is definitely an interesting addition to the story. So, you know, I'm excited to see where things with that character go, because I'm assuming they will appear again. So, like, I am enjoying it. I'm having a good time. I don't want to make it sound like I'm not enjoying the book. Like, I am. I'm really liking it. I'm just not, you know, loving it as much as I expected. I'm not absolutely obsessed with it, but I am still having a great time with it, and I am very excited to see where it goes. And yeah, it's just not giving me 5-star feelings, which is what I was expecting from it. But having said that, I'm gonna finish the book and I will be back with my thoughts. Okay, so I have finished Katabasis, and I actually definitely like the second half more than I like the first half, and I really continue to enjoy like exploring hell and like what it is like, and like the differences that it had from like every text that Alice and Peter had read, and also like all the challenges that they had go through, all the people that they met as well in there, and how like their goals, I guess, changed from what they initially were. And especially like in the last few chapters, I really liked it because Alice was being like very iconic, and you know, I have been waiting for that, and so I really enjoy that. And I can still continue to not really like the romance, like Peter and Alice's dynamic, like their romance. I didn't like it. It's not that only that I didn't care, like I actually didn't really like it, but like I liked the rest, and like still I didn't love it as much as I expected, because I expected it to be, you know, immediately 5 stars, and it definitely wasn't. Like I enjoyed it. I really liked the idea, and in the first half I didn't love the execution as much. In the second half I liked it way more, if we ignore the romance. But also like in the second half there was less of it, for sure, like way less. So maybe that's also why I like the second half more. And yeah, I really liked the people that they met like in hell. They were very interesting, all of them, and they were definitely really cool additions to the story. And yeah, like overall I did enjoy it. I especially, like I said, like the ending, like the last few chapters. And like I'm still not entirely sure I'm gonna rate it. It's either 3.5 or 4 stars, which is a good rating, but it's like definitely less than I expected, but I think I'm leaning more towards 4 because like I did have fun. So I think it will probably be a 4. So I don't want to like sound negative because obviously clearly I enjoy the book. I just didn't love it, as much as I was expecting because I was expecting to be like absolutely obsessed, absolutely hooked, like from page 1 to the end, and to just be, loving every second, like every page. And, sadly that was not the case, but still, I did enjoy it. I still think it was really good. And yeah, had fun. And probably, like I said, 4 stars. And now our next book is Among the Burning Flowers, which is fantasy, and it's a prequel of the Roots of Chaos series. And actually, like, I don't know if I'm gonna update halfway through this book because it's like quite short. It's around 250 pages. So, like, spoiler free, I don't know if I will have like that much to say 125 pages in. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't know because also like I haven't really read the back. I just want to read it because I really like the series. I don't know like what this book specifically is about, but yeah, I will see. Like when I'm halfway through, if I think that I had like enough things to say, I will update. If not, I will just update you when I finish the book. Okay, so I have read Among the Burning Flowers, and I don't know if I said this in this video or if I just mentioned this in like the weekly vlogs where I talked about this book, but I thought like before reading it that this was set before the other prequel that exists, which is called A Day of Fallen Night, I think, but it's actually not at all, and that's because I had not read the synopsis and I just assumed for some reason, like I don't know why really, I assumed this was like set before anything else in the series, but this is actually like chronologically, this is the second book in the Roots of Chaos series, but it's actually set like right before the Priory of the Orange Tree, like right before those events. And so basically this is we're following 3 characters, and this is like divided into 2 parts, and in part 1 we follow 2 of those characters, and in part 3 we follow like one of those that we're following and another one. And so one of the characters that we're following is Marosa, and she is a princess, and she is kind of like a prisoner in her own home because her father, the king of that land, doesn't let her leave, doesn't let her, do anything basically that she wants. And there's like the dark entity of this world, which is called the Nameless One, and there are like creatures that are like of the dark, and they're like worms, wyverns, and they are like starting to awake because like centuries ago they were sort of like banished and they went into hiding and into sort of like hibernation, and they're starting to wake up again. And in like that kingdom is like a place where they are waking up. And we're also following Malagu, who is a color, and basically she is paid to like kill those creatures that are waking up. And she's also like on the run from things like from her past. And the third character that we're following is
Albrecht. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but I'm gonna assume. And he's like basically betrothed to Marosa. And basically, like in the Priory of the Orange Tree, there is a kingdom that is like fighting for the darkness, and basically this is how that whole situation starts. And I really liked to learn about how it all started and to see some familiar characters, because there were characters here that were in the Priory of the Orange Tree, and it was definitely interesting to see like how they got to where they were in that book. And yeah, I really liked it. I can't really say anything else without spoiling either this book or the other. And like I just feel like there was just one character who, like, we didn't really get a like we didn't get closure with their story, because like the one that only appeared in part one, like I wanted more, and I thought we were gonna have more. I thought they were gonna appear as well in part two, but they didn't. So I just wanted, a little closure with their story, because I mean, I guess we did, but also we didn't. So there's like my only complaint, but I still did really like it, and I am giving it 4 stars. So yeah, it was very fun. It was also very sad. Like you could definitely feel like the desperation of these characters that were like trapped and in like this danger. And yeah, really liked it. And we are gonna go into our final book, which is What Stalks the Deep, which is horror. And like I know like the main characters that we're following, because this is the third book in a series, so like I know who the main characters are, but like specifically of this book I don't know anything about what the plot is gonna be. But I am excited, and I am hoping it is like creepy and kind of gross like the others in the series were. So yeah, that one is also very short. Like I think it's shorter than this one. I'm not entirely sure, but it's quite short, so I think I'm also gonna read like the entire book, and then I will be back.
Okay, so I have finished my last anticipated release, which was What Stalks the Deep. And so this is the third book in the Sworn Soldier series, and we're following Easton, and they used to be a soldier. And in this book, they are contacted by a friend, like someone that we actually met in the first book in the series. And basically, that friend tells Easton that his cousin has gone missing, because his cousin went to explore like a cave, and then he was like sending letters to him. And in those letters, he talked about like weird things happening in the cave and like a weird light, and then he just vanished. So that guy contacts Easton to help him basically find his cousin. And so they go, like a group, I think of 4 people, they go into the cave and they are like exploring. And it is like pretty creepy. We are hearing things, we are seeing things, we are seeing that light that other guy talked about. And I really like these books because they are very, like I said, creepy and also like kind of disgusting sometimes. And it definitely, like, I was really liking it in the beginning, in the like first half. But I feel like when we found out what the horror thing really was, I feel like it wasn't as scary anymore. So I definitely liked it more when we didn't really know what like they were up against, because once we learned, like, I guess it was scary, but it wasn't as scary. I still definitely liked it because I do really like Easton, and also a character that is usually like with them, a character that has been in the other 2 books as well. Like, it's very funny. So like I really like that character, I really like Easton, and that character that we had met in the first book, it was nice to see him again. And I did overall like the creepy, unsettling vibe. There were definitely some gross things happening as well, but I just wish it had been more creepy, I guess. But I still enjoyed it. I'm giving it, I think, 3.5 stars, which is a pretty good rating still. And yeah, that is it. So just to give like my final ratings on the books that I read for this video. So for Once a Villain, I gave 4 stars.
Then Katabasis, I ended up giving it 3.5 stars actually. Then Among the Burning Flowers, I gave 4 stars, and What Stalked the Deep, I gave 3.5 stars. So we had 2 4 stars and 2 3.5 stars, which I think is pretty good. And yeah, that is all of my anticipated books read, 20 of them, and overall I am happy with them. Overall I did really enjoy them. And that is also everything for this video. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you have enjoyed it. And if you did, give it a like and subscribe. And I will talk to you next time. Bye!